back to the Cocco Channel and to a brand new series on my channel. We are starting a new series. It is going to be retail horror stories. So a lot of you may not know this about me, but I am 28 years old and I started working at the age of 15, and it has been 90% retail. And if you couldn't tell from Sunday Funday Hauls, I am also a shopaholic. It is a real addiction. And so I also have experienced a lot of crazy things shopping in stores, and so I'm gonna mix it up every week and tell you things that I have experienced both working and shopping in stores. And so I have talked with a lot of my friends that I have worked with at stores, and I just have a lot of really insane stories, and you really can't make this stuff up. So I'm going to start off with a really funny story. Some of them are going to be funny, some of them are going to be like, oh my goodness, you know what I mean, like insane, like furious, like you need to sue, you know what I mean, like crazy stuff. So, if you guys enjoy this, please let me know. If you don't, you know what I mean, like I totally don't have to continue it, but I always enjoy hearing stories like this, especially at like similar places or similar situations, you know what I mean? So I know that this kind of crazy thing doesn't only happen to just me, because a lot of the times I feel like it just does. When I tell people this, they're like, Brittany, like what is it about you that like this stuff happens? I'm like, I don't know, because I did work in retail for so long. Like I am a stay-at-home mom now, but this is the first time in my life I never not worked. Like I said, I started working at 15, you know what I mean, and all the way through. Like when I was going to college, like I said, I worked. And so, anytime I go out to shop, you know what I mean, like my friends tell me I'm just like one of those people that are like disgustingly nice, you know what I mean? Just because I know how it feels like when you have those customers like that don't say anything to you, even when you're like, hi, how are you? You know what I mean? And you're just like, and they just look at you, you're like, why do you have to come in here and be so nasty? You know what I mean? And so anytime I go somewhere, even if like the person who is like helping me or whatever, I'm always the first person like, hi, how are you? How's your day going? Blah, 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 because I know how it feels. And so they're like, oh, hi, you know what I mean? And I like drum up conversation, blah, blah, blah. And so anyways, I'm just that person when I go out, and I'm the person who, if I pick something up and I decide I don't want it, take my butt back to where I got it from and, you know what I mean, put it where it goes. And so anyways, this story takes place in the year 2009. And so I am 21 years old and I am an assistant manager at a Converse store, which a lot of people don't know that Converse is actually owned by Nike. And so this was probably one of the coolest jobs you could have had at the age of 21, you know what I mean? For me anyways, because Converse was like my style, and they were just starting to get into like making clothes as well. Like they started making jeans, and they had like the coolest graphic tees and, you know what I mean, like accessories and stuff like that. And so I was in charge of clothing. We had like a couple of assistant managers, and then we had like obviously a store manager. So I'm not going to use people's real names except for my friend Jess, because she doesn't care. Her and I were like talking about this the other day, and like she gave me a couple of stories and that I had forgotten about, and this was one of them. So so I had started working when I was 20 at this store, and so by this time I was 21, okay, and our store, we were one of two in the Las Vegas area. We had a South location and a North Las Vegas like location, and they were outlet stores, and so that means like you have discounted prices and such. And so, you know, our stores were in outlet centers, which were huge draws for the foreign, you know what I mean, tourists, because it was such discounted, you know what I mean, prices that they would just like stock up and take all of it home. I mean, like they wouldn't even take the shoe boxes. They would leave all of the shoe boxes at our store and just like put it in their duffel bags. Like they would buy luggage while they were in this mall, you know what I mean? We had like all name brand in this mall. So anyways, so we're getting a remodel, okay? And I'm gonna try not to laugh because this story is so insane. So we're getting a remodel, which happens at night, okay? And so there was 2 assistant managers there, including myself, like me and another assistant manager who had come just like 2 months before, and we're gonna call him R. O-R. So this dude is brand new, but for some reason he like buddied up immediately with the store manager, who we're gonna call P. Okay, so they're like BFFs, all right? And so P's not there. It's just me and R who are in charge of the store at this time. And we have construction workers in there, and then we have like regular, you know, part-timers is what we called them in the store. The only full-time people were the assistant managers and the store manager. And so my best friend who worked with me was Jess, and so she was there, and she was the main part-timer in soft lines with me who only did, you know what I mean, clothing. And there was another kid in there who will be in another story. But so I can't remember if he was there or not. He was C. So anyways, so me and Jess are, you know, you kind of just have to watch like what the workers are doing, and then if they need you to do like move the clothing or do this or do that, you know what I mean? You're kind of just making sure like nothing is getting damaged, and then like taking fixtures out, you know what I mean? Like Jess and I stayed away from shoes, which was like, I want to say like 75% of the store, you know what I mean? But with this remodel, they were like going to completely redo soft lines, and we were going to get all new fixtures, you know, everything was going to be brand new, and including mannequins. Now, a little backstory about these mannequins is that Jessica and I hated these freaking mannequins. I mean, they were the worst. They weighed more than Jessica and I put together, okay? And their like joints were incredibly hard to, you know what I mean, maneuver and everything. And Jessica and I were in charge of doing the front window with these stupid things. Every week we had to redo them. Or maybe it wasn't that often, maybe like every 2 weeks. We had to like do a whole new display every 2 weeks, because again, it's her and I in charge of this thing, because R didn't want to do it, you know. So the remodel the remodel stated that all old fixtures, including like the tables and everything, was getting thrown away. So in the back of our store, you know, the mall, like all the stores are connected, and the fronts, you know what I mean, like it's the inside, and then the backs where like the parking lot is. And so in the back of our store, through our back door, was the dumpster. And so we were all taking turns like throwing stuff away and everything, and so we were like getting ready to throw some stuff away, and we tipped over this dang mannequin, right? And so something broke, and we were like, F it, you know, because we're throwing it away anyway. And so Jessica and I are so mad at this mannequin that we were like, you know what, screw you, mannequin. And so we're like, we take its arm and we break it some more, you know what I mean? We're like, man, that feels good, because her and I have been struggling with this thing. By then, we had been working there almost a year, I want to say. So we take it, and we take its hand and break it on the counter. And so everyone like sees us doing this, and they want to partake in on the fun. So here comes R, who's only been working here for a month and hasn't touched this mannequin, you know. And he is like close to 7 feet tall. He's a big dude. And he takes the torso of it and takes his like size 14 shoe and puts it like through the cavity of the chest, right? And then we have this other guy that works there, and he's like stomping on the legs. Like, I mean, we took every frustration we've ever had in our retail job on any customer and like dealing with anything, you know what I mean? Like any pent up anger anybody had, like this was our therapy, and we took it out and we murdered these mannequins, right? So we clean everything up, and like we're having a grand old time, you know what I mean? And throw everything away. And so, you know, everyone's still working, and I get a phone call, and we're hanging out, and I pick up the phone, and it's P, the store manager, and he's like, hey, so the second store manager from the North store is going to be by in about 30 minutes to pick up those mannequins. I was like, excuse me? You told me that everything was getting thrown away. And he said, no, I didn't. And I was like, P, yes, you trust me that you did. And I said, they're already in the dumpster. And he's like, well, go get them out. And I was like, number one, I'm 5'2", I can't fit, like, go climb in the dumpster. And number 3, like, I'm not getting in the dumpster. That's disgusting. You know what I mean? Number 3, they're in a million pieces. And he was like, what do you mean? And I was like, well, during, you know, moving stuff, I, of course, lied my butt off because I'm not going to be like, well, we murdered him. We freaking blew him into pieces, you know. I was like, when we were moving stuff, they fell over. They're, like, broken. And he was like, silence. Complete silence. And so he was like, I'm on my way. Mind you, he's at home. Okay? That's how bad it is. He's like, I'm on my way. And hung up on me. I was like, so I like freak out and I'm like telling everyone like, what are we gonna do? And R was like, oh no, it's not my problem. Of course it's not your problem, DB. So I'm like freaking out. Jessica's like, oh my God, you know what I mean? So he comes and he like looks in the dumpster and he's like, what did you guys do? And we were like, I don't know, they just fell over. So what does he do? He looks at the cameras. He looks at the cameras and sees us all going completely psychotic on these mannequins. We straight up murdered these mannequins. We straight up murdered these mannequins like they had killed our dogs. Like, we went psycho, you know? And so, oh my gosh. So at the end of the day, I got written up. Not anybody else, which, you know what I mean? Of course, I was the assistant manager, but another assistant manager was there, you know what I mean? And he partook more, you know what I mean? But no, it was me. I got written up because we'll get into more stories about P later on in this series and eventually how Converse came to an end, but I just wanted to share the murdering mannequin stories. And then another day, there was like right next to, so the register was a counter, and then we had like this huge metal basket right next to it, and we had socks on the inside that we sold, you know, and we used to move it to sweep every once in a while. And so one day, like, we had dropped something under there, and P moved it, and he found a finger of a mannequin in there, and he like kicked me out of the front of the store. He's like, I can't even look at you right now. Just leave. Just go to the back. And I was like, what? It was like so long ago, like, and I got written up for it. Like, you can't like just be okay by now. Like, come on. Like, I sucked at life and being a store manager, but we murdered mannequins. And so that is my murdering mannequin story. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. It wasn't too long, and it was pretty intense and funny, and I was 21 and you do really stupid things, you know what I mean? And it's not like I was unfit to be an assistant manager. I thought I did pretty well as an assistant manager, and he did tell me that everything was getting thrown away. He didn't say like put those mannequins aside, you know what I mean? I probably shouldn't have encouraged murdering them, but things happen and it was a mistake. But it was a mistake that you make in your youth, and nobody got hurt, although they were thousands of dollars mannequins, so what are you gonna do? But I love you guys. I hope you enjoyed this story. I am gonna try and do this on Fridays, if that's okay with you guys. I was talking to you guys on Snapchat about doing Freaky Fridays, and I don't know if I'm gonna do the Freaky Friday, like, testing out strange items, because it was really weird. Remember I showed you guys I had that, like, weird application foundation applicator, and then that like eyeshadow stamp, and then it was so strange, like that next week Tarte did both of them. I was like, I mean, she obviously has no idea who I am, but it was just so weird, like both of them that next week. So I don't know, if you guys still want me to do it, I totally will. Shauna said yes, please still do it, so I can mix it up, but I have so many stories that you wouldn't even believe. I've worked at Converse, Target, Joann's, Old Navy. I did another job that involved me being in charge of grocery stores, like certain sections, like being a sales rep. What else did I do? I've done a ton of stuff. So if you guys would like this, I would love to continue sharing stories, and I would love to hear any stories that you guys have, whether you worked or experienced anything in any store. Please leave it in the comments down below and share with all of this, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!